CTM Outstanding Research Award. This is Professor Soumya Ray. And I'm William from IPMT. So, Professor, could you briefly introduce yourself, your academic background, and your area of interest?
Certainly. So, my name is Soumya. I'm a distinguished professor here at CTM. I did my PhD in the University of Wisconsin in the area of management information systems. And I've been in Taiwan since 2010. And my area of research is in information systems and IT services, where I am looking at how people behave and how they make decisions when they are interacting with information technology tools.
Why did you choose to come to Taiwan?
Well, there was a two-step decision process for me. The first was when I was looking for academic jobs. I was pleasantly surprised to find that Taiwan had a very good research environment, and where we get very healthy funding for our research and the freedom to do research well. And also I would have freedom to teach very well.
Yeah.
So I came here to do an interview. But when I came here, I really fell in love with the place. So I loved the people, I loved the country, so I thought this was a great place to start my career.
What motivates you to go into this direction?
So my background from my undergraduate was in computer sciences, and I've been programming since I was a 小朋友, so I was a little kid. But over time, as I got older and matured, I became very interested in how people are interacting with these technological tools we are creating. So IT services for me matches two of my big interests, which is technology and people. So we get to see how people think about IT, the way they think about other people, or the way they think about other tools in their life. And I'd love to see how what we create in terms of tools changes the way they make decisions and the way that they behave around these tools.
Where do you get these inspirations from? Like, you interact with people, or you have a work? Where do these inspirations from?
So one of the things that I do is a lot of the contexts, a lot of the tools and things that I'm studying are things that you and I would use in our day-to-day life. It might be e-commerce platforms, like if you Shopee or somewhere to buy something. It might be Facebook. It might be something like that. And nowadays, of course, with AI and other tools. So these are things that we are interacting with every day in our lives. So I have some base familiarity with them. And also I make sure that it's something that when I do research about it, a broad audience can appreciate it and say that they can reflect on these learnings in their own day-to-day lives.
What do you consider to be your most innovative aspect of your research?
I think the most innovative aspect of my research, the thing that I do to try to put some distance between me and other researchers doing the same thing, is that in my research lab, we not only study how people are using IT tools, but we actually make those IT tools ourselves. So we make platforms where we can invite people to come and interact and do things. And so that allows me to get a lot of design control over what I'm studying, and it allows me to create new and interesting environments where people get to interact and behave. I think that is something that in a lot of business schools, for example, you will not see other professors doing so much of.
Yeah.
So it's bringing a lot of my background from computer sciences and other fields into the world of management and people. So I think that is something that distinguishes me from other people doing research.
Could you briefly introduce your most recent work? Does this have anything to do with the platform, that self-made platform that you just talked about?
Sure. So one of the things that we're developing right now are, of course, integrated AI tools, because that's the hot topic right now. And so here we have created a platform where people can come in, we give them some tasks, some job to do, and we give them an AI tool that they can use to get some help and assistance as they are doing their job that we've given them. The cool thing is, because it's our platform, we can measure everything that they're doing on this platform. We can measure how they are typing and speaking to the AI. We can even measure, are they copy and pasting things from the AI back into their own work? Are they highlighting things? So we have very micro behavioral data on how they're interacting and touching this AI tool. This is very different from just sending people to ChatGPT, which we have no control over.
Yeah.
So this is an example of where having your own platform allows you to measure things that you would not be able to do if you just generically ask people, what do you think about ChatGPT?
Actually requires like your computer science background, right? So you can manage everything.
That's right. So I had a background in computer science and in information systems. And now the students I work with come from primarily design and MIS backgrounds, information systems backgrounds. So they're also somewhat familiar with computing. I use my classes to get them stronger in what they can do around technology and tools, and then we can have fun playing with these kind of platforms.
What is your thought on this AI trend right now, like in human behavior and AI? What do you see right now?
That's a great question. I think everyone is asking where AI will go and what it can do. I'm very curious first about what do people really think AI is, not from a technical point of view, but from an everyday point of view. If we give consumers or employees an AI tool, will they see it as an assistant? Will they see it as a competition, a threat to their own creativity and potential? See it in some other role. So one of the interesting questions that I think comes to rise is, how do people perceive the AI in relation to them? Because unlike other tools that they have played with, AI is the first tool that looks and sounds a little bit like us, right? Yeah. So I think it's interesting to see how they will perceive it, but also how can we shape their perception of what the AI tool is and what it's capable of so that they approach it in the healthiest way possible.
Do you see your research having impact on the society maybe in the future?
One day, finish up my research career and I look back at it, I would like to think that I've made a few major contributions. One will certainly be the research that I've done. I hope that impacts how people design tools that interact with people and employees and in all spheres of life. So my research should have an impact. The second thing is that I hope that some of the tools that I've created are still used by researchers and have a life of their own and have drawn a community of their own. For example, one of the software packages that we created in my lab is currently used by perhaps hundreds of schools around the world for teaching and for research, and it has a small community around it. Other people have written books about how to use the software, so it's a very wonderful community, and I hope some of these communities stay for the long term. And the last thing is, I hope that some of the things that I've been teaching and the classes that I've been teaching in some way, shape, or form inform not only how other professors are teaching in the future, but also work their way into how companies are training themselves and learning about new tools and techniques.
What's one of like advice that you would give to them, like if they wanted to do something like what you do?
So for students who want to pursue this kind of a direction, I think the challenge is that there are a few things they have to be really good at. One is they have to be very comfortable with software engineering and software development. This is a professional endeavor, so it's not something you can necessarily just learn in classes, though I do teach a class on software engineering. Second thing is that they have to be quite conversant with statistical methods, so they have to learn quite a bit about the underlying statistics of how humans make choices and how we can model these things. And the third thing is that they have to have fairly strong domain knowledge, so they have to be quite aware of the trends and how people are using technology and have some experience in these things. Now, I don't pressure students or even young faculty to learn all three things at the same time. That's a career goal, of course. But I think it's good for every student to know what they're strong at, what's their primary weapon. Everything else can be a small knife in their belt. So I think every student has to have an identity, every researcher has to have an identity. So which of these three or other things that they are really good at, they have to be aware of that and get stronger at that and learn the other things to be competent at those other things.
What are some of the challenges that you face during your research?
So I've been doing research now for over a decade, and longer than that, almost 2 decades if you consider my PhD as well. I think one of the great challenges of doing research in technology and management at the intersection of these two fields is that technology is changing all the time. And in the field of management, we are also absorbing new techniques and tools all the time. So one of the great challenges of being a strong management researcher is that we have to constantly retool ourselves with the latest and greatest things. There's a couple of parts to this. One is that technologies and trends are changing all the time, so we have to bring those things into our research constantly. Some fields potentially you could be investigating topics people looked at 50 years ago or 500 years ago. But in technology management, of course, things are changing quickly.
First, and then you bring it back to your management industry, right?
That's exactly right. So many of the things that I'm teaching now, started teaching them, some people would ask me, oh, this is a thing? You know, why are you teaching this? Or why are you researching this? And many years later, they would recognize why. But because I had a bit of a sense of the pulse of the community of technologists developing things, I saw it in advance.
About our next question, I would like to ask, how does your research align with current trends in your field, like other than AI?
That's right. So one of the things that has enabled AI to come into play today is that computers have gotten very powerful, right? Much, much, much more powerful than the beginning of AI. So many of the things that we're doing and seeing with AI was simply not possible, let's say, 20, 30 years ago. So one of the things that I have tried to do in my teaching and in my research is bring more computing methods into how we work and what we do. So the classes I'm teaching, the research I'm doing is engaging a lot more deeply with computing and computational tools than before. And I think this is a shift in how science is also progressing. There was a time when science was very much theoretical in nature, and it was formula and derivations. But more and more, and AI is a great example of this, there are times when scientific or engineering advancements have gone ahead of the math and the science behind it. So to some level, we don't really understand why a lot of the AI tools work as well as they do today. We have some understanding of how they work, but we don't know why they're working so well, as an example. So I think one of the important things for me, and I hope others also embrace this, is to bring computing into their research and into their teaching, because it is enabling new fields to rise that just did not exist or could not have existed 30, 40, 50, or 100 years ago.
Anything that you would like to share with the audience, like right now, or?
Sure. I mean, I would like to first thank CTM for giving this wonderful environment where faculty like me can come from far away, and I can have a lot of freedom to research at the best of my ability without fear of resources. That I can teach very freely and in the style that I wish to be. I could have been taught, with one day. I think this is a wonderful environment. I hope we keep this a wonderful environment for future researchers coming in, and I hope to see other rising talent coming out of our college.
All right. Thank you, Professor Soumya Ray, and that will be our interview today. And see you maybe next time.
Thank you, William.
Thank you. Thank you.